Hello and welcome to a very special session of our coffee chat series. My name is Hope Ukebo Mikil, and today on the session, we are celebrating International Women's Day for 2026. This year, we've been given a powerful mandate, give to gain. And so we are taking this opportunity to have a very important conversation that moves beyond celebration and into practical empowerment for women-led MSMEs. So across Nigeria, thousands of women-led MSMEs are building incredible businesses. Many of them are still operating without structure. They don't have automated processes. They don't have any form of integrated payment systems, no clear digital workflows. And while passion drives business forward, lack of systems often hold growth back. So the question becomes, how do we move from hustle to structure? How do we move from manual efforts to smart automations? Or even how do we move from just having visibility to having sustainable revenue using digital systems? So our theme for today's session is titled The Digital Dividend, empowering women-led MSMEs to scale through practical digital systems. And this team, I'm hoping, will push us to explore how practical, low-cost digital tools can help women business owners and managers formalize, organize, and scale their businesses intentionally. And with that in mind, I am very excited to introduce our guests for today's session. They are powerhouses in the Nigerian digital and business space. Miss Isimeme Whyte, the founder and Chief Innovation Officer at Genius Hub. Hello, ma'am. Welcome to the session today.
Good afternoon, everyone. Always a very, very um, honor. I'm honored, always very honored to be here. I'm grateful. I do not take this for granted at all. Um, Anything that has to do with MSMEs, talking to MSMEs, exposing them to what has worked for me, I'm always very excited to share. Looking at the team for International Women's Day, I talk about give to gain, give to gain. So part of my give to gain is what I'm doing now. I'm sharing what has worked and what need to be done. Looking at the digital transformation opportunities that are available for MSMEs. Are they leveraging on them? And of course, we know with the practical um, digital system in place, they are able to scale. So, like I said, it is my honor to be here. Very excited, and I hope MSMEs are in the room. And if they are not in the room, I hope this video will get to them. You can't scale without technology. You can't scale without having understanding of your products. You can't scale without having financial literacy knowledge. So I love the topic. Very, very timely because we can't be celebrating International Women's Day at this point in time. I are not exposing our women to technology. Technology is like always, I always say AI is not taking anybody's jobs, which is a major fear. But AI is an enabler, and an enabler will definitely be a major tool for productivity. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you so much. Okay, also welcoming a familiar face on our coffee chat series, Elijah Moses, the founder of Verion X. Hello, Elijah. Welcome to the session today.
All right. Thank, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Hope, for this awesome, opportunity once again to be back again. Whenever you're invited again, it means that something must be good again, right? And personally, the conversation today is something that I resonate with. Looking at the current trajectory of things. I mean, looking at how technology is unlocking possibilities for business owners at different levels, whether you are at the emerging level, you are at the growing level or the scaling level, right? Technology and the use of technology is now the ultimate productivity multiplier. And I think one of the other benefit that business owners can actually enjoy in this age and time is that you no longer need the permission from anybody to, expand the reach or the impact of your business. With current technology, yes, the rise of artificial intelligence, large language model, the use of certain digital tools to enable you commercialize your assets, right? These are the things that gives you gives your business a world of a difference, and ultimately plugs you into that permissionless economy where um, you as a business owner determine to a great extent how far, how well, and how competitive your business turns out to be. And I would also say this in the introduction, looking at the scale or the scope in Nigeria, early 2020 to 2019 to 2019, Nigeria had roughly around 43 to 44 million small, medium enterprise businesses. Post-COVID, from 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, we saw a decline of around 3.4 to around 4.5%. Now, what that means in essence is that from 43 million SMEs, MSMEs we had in the country, that gap dropped from 43 to 39 or even 37 million. So there's a decline in the rise of SMEs and MSMEs that actually function in the economy. But with technology, that threshold that actually breaks the growth potentials of businesses within this particular status, right? The threshold is now removed, right? So gone are the days where businesses die because of lack of accessibility to certain utilities or tools. Welcome to the age where your business can actually thrive irrespective of where you operate, the nature of your business, or the people to whom you've been called to service. So yeah, I'm excited to actually be here. So yeah, thank you. Over to you, Hope.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone, and thank you for sharing that little bit of intro with us. So we'll get right into the conversation, starting from the very foundation, which is structure and ownership. So before we talk about scaling, before we talk about marketing or even automation using these digital tools, we need to talk about financial clarity. Mrs. Isimeme, I'd love to bring you in here. Many women-led MSMEs in Nigeria still run from informal business. They still run informal business operations. They still encourage cash-based transactions, handwritten records. They don't have any clear separation between their personal and business finances. And while this may work at the beginning of a business, it often limits the access to potential funding, potential partners. It limits their access to growth planning as well. So from your experience working with women entrepreneurs, how does the lack of digital financial systems affect the ability to scale? And what role do you think that simple tools, simple fintech tools can play in helping them build a more structured and growth ready business?
Okay, so thank you very much for that question. It affects them in so many ways. Number one way is that they will have poor financial visibility. So when they have poor financial visibility, it simply means they don't even have data. This simply means they cannot even make financial decisions, informed decisions, and no one wants to work with any organizations who cannot provide data. So one of the consequences of not leveraging on technology is that it makes their system very weak. Weak customer following up. You don't have database of customers. You can't even follow up on them. You can't even tell where they are buying from, where they are reaching you from, their location, where you are bulk of them. That is a major one. Then manual operations. Manual operations just give you plenty headache among your team. You have confusion, you are tense, you mix up everything. You definitely will disappoint your customers because you don't have data to speak to. Then limited access to digital tools because you don't have access to digital tools at all. Inconsistency in cash flow. So the cash flow will not be consistent because you don't even know what you're doing. So that is why it is very important to deal with this topic and open their eyes to the opportunities or why they need to do the right thing. And for me, it's not just identifying the problem, the consequences, what to do to their organization or to their business, to kill their businesses. That is the truth. But with emerging technologies like ERP, enterprise resource planning, enterprise resource planning is a very powerful tool. And why I love enterprise resource planning because it's affordable depending on the package you are looking at. And it's a very powerful collaborative tool that help you design, create, analyze, and optimize core business process. And sort of the such processes that I'm emphasizing on is the financial processes, HR processes, manufacturing processes, supply chain. So the ERP will enable the organization to have a smooth running. So sometimes that may look too sophisticated sometimes, but it is not actually. Depending on the vendor, depending on the service provider you are working, depending on the particular one you are getting. But again, looking at fintech, when you go along the street and you want to buy few things, yeah, they say, I know they take transfer, I know they take transfer. And that automatically that customer, that MSME have lost that customer. Because we're looking at the policy, the cashless policy in our country that allow you to do transaction without physical cash. But the mindset of our MSMEs have not really shifted. Have not shifted. Many of them still believe in their old way, and you don't blame them because they have their own bad experiences in the past where people transfer and eventually there's reversion and don't get to get that money back. So again, why I emphasize ERP. ERP is a powerful tool. So it's an enterprise resource planning. You have opportunity to take more data from your client. So you have opportunities. So it's not just transfer that will happen, transfer of your money that will happen. But what will also happen is that you have opportunity to collect data. And when you collect data, if peradventure you don't see that money, you can always communicate because you have data. So adoption of fintech is a very access to it is very easy, unlike commercial bank where the process is very heavy. But with fintech, with your phone accounts have access to they are adopted. Not just women, but majority of MFA are not adopted. So it's very important to really do a case, which is why I want to comment the organization for them. But again, technology is everything. When you put your house in order, especially using technology, one of the advantages is that it helps you have corporate governance in place. Anyone wants to do business with you will be privileged to see the back end if you choose to show them the back end, depending on your data policy, depending on your data protection policy you have in place. But what is key for me here is it's improve productivity and it makes the entire process smooth. With a dashboard, you can see what is happening in your organization, in your businesses. That's why I'm emphasizing how you can create multiple accounts. And but beyond that, there's so many other tools, like people that MSME can start to get. These are simple software that will help them keep their books. Because bookkeeping is a major aspect of scaling. And for them to scale, they need to ensure that bookkeeping is top notch. And for that to happen, is this process that making record your day-to-day activities. I'll come back again to emphasize ERP. It's a fantastic software. It has inventory, it has financial tools, it has HR. In fact, it has everything to run a business and have proper data and have proper corporate governance and structure in place. So it is very important to emphasize the importance of ERP as we advocate for digital literacy, digital transformation, digital economy for our MSMEs.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma.
So,
Okay.
so very
Yes,
long,
yes, you did. Thank you.
but I tried to pick the one full.
Thank you so much. Okay, so thank you very much for that detailed description. And I really like what you said about, the visibility and the tracking, being able to collect data and just potentially track your customers. At the end of the day, that data is power. But let us explore it further in the context of entrepreneurship, digital ownership of financial data like payment records, your transaction history. I believe that they can significantly influence decision making for, these businesses. My question right now is how can women entrepreneurs have financial control in a digital economy using tools such as, the mobile payment platforms, the digital invoicing, even the automated bookkeeping that you mentioned earlier. How can these tools help women entrepreneurs take greater ownership of their business, of their income? How can it help them make more confident financial decisions?
The first thing I only tell MSMEs is to be intentional about digital literacy. When I say digital literacy, you talk about how can they own, so how can they have control? So one of the ways they can have control is to get involved. From as simple as creating accounts. Like here at Junior policy in place, you can't create an account. You cannot create any account without an approval. And the reason is very simple. MSMEs have lost a lot of opportunities simply because they did not understand digital literacy and they cannot navigate digital space. And because they cannot navigate digital space, they seek so many support from different individuals who in turn create the account in their own names, create the account, everything they do on their own platforms. So making that MSME vulnerable. So like here at Junior Soft, in fact, just yesterday here, that an issue over an account. So it is not what the employee wants. It is the standard of operation of the organization, which is very important. That is why it is very important that you need to have policies in place. What governs your organization is everything. What kind of policy do you have in terms of creating accounts? So the question here is, how do they own it? So this is how they own it. For example, I want to create a Gmail account. It's as simple to start with Gmail account. You can't create a Gmail account without using my phone number or my existing email address, because that is my backup. So automatically when they are sending the code, they send it to me. Even as simple as you giving access, they will still need you to provide the code. So that is like the simplest way of taking ownership. Then the second way of taking ownership is curiosity. Ask questions. Don't be ashamed to show your vulnerability. You don't know what is going on. Like my phone now, I have, before you can access my phone, I use my thumb. You have different layers of coming into my phone. Then, even to my other applications, the same thing. So, what this will do for MSME to make an informed decision at every given time is that because they are involved, that your involvement help you to see what is going on. So, when we talk about putting structure, putting standard of operation in place, we are not saying that the founder should no longer be involved. I think that is where the mistake comes from. We're not saying they should no longer be involved. We're saying own it. They're creating a website for you. They're creating social media pages for you. You can make them an admin without necessarily giving them passwords to those accounts. So all of these are digital education that our MSME women need to be aware of. Because that is, in fact, I know so many women who have lost accounts on various platforms simply because they have employee who is no longer working with them, who have refused, he or she have refused to hand over those passwords. So it is important you create the account yourself. Let them use your information to create the account. That is the first step. I think I've stressed on that. So that is where you can take ownership from. From there, decision making is easy. Why I love technology is that data are there. Let me even quickly give an example. There's this business owner, Melanie Pie. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that brand well. I'm not doing publicity for them. I don't know them. But what did they do? They prepared cafe and they were on island for a very long time. Sorry, mainland. They were on mainland because they were collecting data. They noticed that the peak of their sales happened in the evening. And the moment they noticed that, they were also now looking at where are they coming from. So it's not just the time they come to buy, but where are they coming from? So the moment they saw where they were coming from, that informed a decision immediately. You see why data is very important. You see why I said technology is an enabler. It helps you make informed decision. It makes you more visible to decision makers, to investors. So what they simply did was to say, you know what, we need to move our business to where our customers are. And then look, they moved to Ireland. And when they moved to Ireland, what happened to their profits? It just went up, like boom. So you see, just the power of collecting data. So imagine if they were just selling, they didn't have bookkeeping in place. They were not collecting data. They don't even know where their customers are coming from. They won't have even know whether there's a gap, or they will just say they're not selling. No analysis will be done. So one of the very powerful tools is, I would say, there's so many tools. So ERP is very good, but digital literacy is very powerful for MSMEs. One, you are able to analyze data. Two, you are able to navigate and communicate and get information you need. That is exactly what these people, that's exactly what they did. And that's what we are saying. You are able to know. So even when you run ads, you are looking at locations, you are looking at behaviors, you are looking at why is this ad working, why is it not working? You have access to the back end, you're able to see it. So immediately you see it, you see where your customers are coming from, where interests, those who are interested in your product or services are coming from, where they're showing interest from. So at the end of the day, you are able to make informed decision. So it is very critical to adopt all of these digital tools, not just because we want to follow the trend. It's not about trend. It's about productivity. And it's not just beyond, it's beyond productivity. It's about ability to build to last. Unless you don't want to build a business where it will be for generations. If you are building beyond yourself, you need to start thinking, how do I build a system? Because again, why I love technology, it's easy to hand over. It's easy to take over. So for example, we just have a new financial officer right now. All we needed to do is to transfer the laptop to him and share the password to him. Then, apart from the handing over that will be done by the financial officer, he have access to history of the activities that have been going on in that organization. He have access to history. And that history is so key in decision taking. So it gives you opportunity to see what has worked, what has not worked, what is our mode of operation. So we make onboarding process very smooth and easy for new team. I think it is not a trend anymore. It is a necessity, and it is not luxury anymore. So for you if you are hungry for scaling, you must invest in digital tools. You must. You can't even run away from it. You must run an ad for people to see you. If you don't want to sell, some people will say, I don't want to sell, I just want visibility, I want to create awareness. Whatever the objective is, what it simply means is that you're going to still spend money. ERP is not free. There may be free version and all that, you still pay. QuickBook is not free. You will still need money for it. So there's so many tools that you can play with. And the good thing is that they give you few days, trial days where you can try for a few days to see if you can adapt to it. And if it's a tool you cannot adapt to it, they always have customer support system in place. They always have customer support system in place. So this customer support system in place will also help you a long way to give you clarity on how to use some of these tools. Then belonging to communities. See, one of the things I always say is that tools are coming out every day. There's so many AI tools today. This one, they've released this one, they've released that one. I don't want to talk too much. ChatGPT is there. It's depending on your prompts, you guess. But my point here is that if you belong to an ecosystem, you belong to a community of like minds, where informations are being shared, opportunities are being shared, where you discuss about trends, you will also get to learn and be aware of new opportunities. But if you are not in any ecosystem, you are doing your business all by yourself, you cannot grow. And this is not just about education. This is not about the technicality around it. It's about seeing it is about the acceptance of the reality before you. The reality before you is that technology will help you stay. The mindset needs to shift. There must be a mindset shift. Like, you know what? I need to work on my mindset. I can't run this business the way I used to run it. I need to drop emotion. I need to stop being emotional. I need to face reality. You know what I love? I know I love technology. Technology does not know anybody's face. For example, you are using clocking in devices to come into an office. It does not know you. It does not know whether you are related to the owner. It does not know whether you were having health issue before you came to work. It does not know whether your vehicle broke down. The only thing the technology knows that is the time you have arrived. You see, it's just help HR. It help the payroll system and the entire payroll system. It makes it very smooth. So they can run the entire process smoothly. So without being emotionally, oh, I don't know how this person will feel. So your employee begin to see that it is not you anymore. It is the system and structure and the corporate governance in place. So I love ERP a lot. Sorry that I'm emphasizing it, but it is in reality. It is what has worked. It is what it is. It is what I will advocate for. So enterprise resource planning is everything. It is specifically made for MSME to be well structured, to be well, you know, organized. Let me use that word, organized. And most importantly, to help them make informed decisions. So they have access to data. They are seeing everything, even to inventory. You can update your inventory to raw materials. You know what and what you need for raw materials. You know when it's dropping, when the raw material is also dropping. You are seeing everything on a dashboard. So I think I will rest at this point. But let's adopt technology. Let's use it to our own advantage. Let's see it as a major enabler for productivity for us to scale as business owners.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for that very detailed insights. I know that we're learning a lot already. And so now we've talked about money structure, we've talked about digital ownership. But structure does not end with finances. We're seeing cases where the business money is very clearly organized, but then the customer journey is chaotic. Now, Elijah, from a marketing systems perspective, what do you think that we're missing? I mean, speaking in the context of online and social media marketing, a lot of our women-led MSMEs, they already have visibility on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook. But visibility does not always translate into like consistent revenue, as we've seen. Many of them do the trial and error marketing mode, which is simply posting regularly online, but without any kind of structured systems behind their, let's say, customer engagement or even customer retention. So, Elijah, from a systems perspective, what do you think is missing between the online presence of businesses and the actual business growth? And then how can we integrate digital tools to help close that gap?
Nice, nice. This is a very excellent question. Thank you so much for sharing. Yes, I mean the gaps are in existence, right? There are businesses that have good data visibility, but the challenge oftentimes is that number of followers you have might not necessarily equate to the number of customers you have. The customers are not necessarily followers, right? And I think also there's a need for clarity on what really makes a customer a customer. So let me start on this graph. And I'll build upon it. Now, the orientation most people have is that when a person buys from you the first time, they automatically become your customer. But that is wrong, all right? A customer or a person who buys from you the first time is a prospect. The act of continuous repetitive sales over a consistent period of time is what transforms a prospect into a customer. So celebrating that somebody has purchase something from you doesn't mean that the person will continuously keep on purchasing from you. And you never can tell. That person purchasing from you can even be your competitor. Right? So I can buy just to know how your business process works. So that's the first place to begin. Now you move it forward. The orientation behind being digital needs to be clearly communicated. Why are you online? right? Are you online because, I mean, online, I mean, why are you using certain digital tools? Why are you on Facebook? Why are you on Instagram? Why are you even using WhatsApp? Why are you using this, you know, closely available technology for your business? Is it because everybody is using it? That's why you want to use it. If that's the rationale, the high tendency is that you experience burnout over a period of time because you end up trying to do what everybody's doing, missing the fact that people are doing what they are doing based on the strategy that works for them. You can replicate the tool, but if you divorce the strategy that empowers the use of the tool, you will frustrate your efforts, right? So you see a lot of persons pushing content, creating content, being on these platforms, putting themselves over, trying to run ads, spending money, but the money being spent, the effort being put into use does not translate into results. So there's a gap, right? There's a gap between the business objective, between the visibility, as well as how the visibility translates into results. What then solve this problem? One word or two words, actually, two words. It is simply the understanding of your business model. The understanding of your business model. So let me explain what a business model is. Then I'll move into how that connects into marketing and how you can actually make it work. So a business model or a business model canvas that captures your business model explains in a very simple term how your business creates value in form of product, in form of services, or in form of an enabling system. So some businesses have products, digital or physical. Some businesses offer services depending on the status of service. Then some businesses have enabling system. So if you have an enabling system, maybe you have an e-commerce solution, right? You don't have the product, you don't have the services, but you connect the bridge between people who have products and or people who have services, connecting with people who need the product or people who need their services. So you act as an enabler. That's the second level, right? So a business model captures how your business creates value, products, services, or systems, right? How your business distributes or delivers that value. Now you've created the value on the supply end, right? Now you want to distribute what has been supplied to where it is being demanded. But the challenge oftentimes is that certain persons try to create supplies for demands that do not necessarily exist, but they envision that they can create, right? So if your business is creating supply for a demand that does not necessarily exist, it means that your business is um, more of I won't say a need, it's more of a supplement to what is currently being in existence, right? So you're just supplementing somebody else need or someone else, demand. It might not be a need point or a pain point that someone is willing to pay for. But now you need to create that bridge of distribution. And you can only create an effective bridge of distribution if you understand who has a demand for what you have created and how the people who have a demand for what you have created can get to see you. Now, note, listen. It is not how you get to meet them that really matters. It is how they can get to meet you that matters, right? So some persons have solutions and then they think in their head, oh, my customer should be on Facebook. They should be on LinkedIn. You are thinking in your assumption cap that the people that will buy your product should be on LinkedIn, but it doesn't connect. The question to ask is, these people that have this demand, what platform do they often use? How do they engage? How do they interact? What network effects connect with their demands? How can I plug into this network? Not how can I make these people come to me? If you trying to bring them to you, you will spend so much money on marketing that will not translate into revenue, but you experience exponential loss over a period of time because the money you are spending versus the people you are targeting, there is no connection. So you have conflict in the business, and oftentimes you will not have enough money to keep your business going month in, month out. So understand the pipeline, the distribution pipeline. Where are these guys? What excites them? Where do how can you connect with them? What terms, what that's called keywords, what platforms, what data pointers, what listening tool can you use to understand how they behave and why they behave the way they behave. That is the distribution. And then lastly, this is where the question comes in. After you've distributed the value you have created, you need to capture value back into your business. Now you capture value back into your business in form of profit, right? In form of profit, in form of inflows. Let me also share this. Oftentimes, when people don't have an understanding or a clarity about the distribution method they want to use for their business, there are high tendencies that they will end up spending money on clients or spending money on acquiring customer base, whose return on investment from that customer, customer meaning that okay, now they are paid multiple period of times, or let me use the word prospect. They end up acquiring prospects whose ROI, the returns on this prospect, does not equate the money that's spent in acquiring them. So you still you still go down, right? So if you spend 500K, for instance, running ads, doing marketing effort, and the customers you acquire, the inflow that comes from the customer you acquire is less than 300,000. Hello, you are already on the decline because you are spending more money acquiring them, and that does not translate into result. So you are bleeding money, but you're not making money. But then there's the illusion to think that, oh, because you have so many persons who are indicating interest, it means your business is doing well. But unknown to you, the data will reveal the truth that your business is not doing well, but you're going down the drain. So now, connecting the distribution to the capturing of value back into the business as the revenue on the marketing side, how do you do it? This is how you do it. I'll give you step by step things you can do and you get results. So there are 5 things you can do, right? 5 things you can do. Number one, you need clarity on your own business. Most SMEs, I use the word MSMEs because when I use MSMEs, there are different categories, right? MSMEs means micro, small, and medium enterprise. Structure differs, your ability to handle certain things differs. But guess what? Whether you are a medium or a micro, you are a small, or you're a medium, you're a small, or you're a micro business, there are certain tools that are universally accessible to everyone. So every business owner has access to social media platforms. Every business owner have access to certain utilities, data utilities or tools you can use, platforms that you can use for free. So I basically say I said all I just said right now to advance this point that doesn't matter what level your business is, there are tools you can use that will give you equal access if you know how to use them well by understanding your business. So you need to understand your business. You need to have a business model designed around your business. And this business model canvas is free. Check online, download it, sit down, and understand how your business plugs it into that system. That's number one. Number two, you need to have clarity, right? You need to have clarity around the demand and the supply end of your deliverables, meaning your product or your services or the system you've created, right? So if you have an understanding of demand, it will influence how you advance on the supply end of your business. If you have an understanding of the supply, it will give you clarity on how you advance on the distribution side of things, right? So now you've created the product, you've created the service as tied to the customer you want to target. Now, number three, you need to understand the people you are targeting. Now, there are tools that can help you to understand the people you are targeting. For instance, the question I ask myself, which when I'm doing marketing aspects, the people I'm trying to target, which platforms do they go to get advice from? So what forms their bias for action, right? What forms their bias for action? In other words, what to make a person act or make a person not to act based on whatever information they have access to. So who influence their information diets? If as a business owner you don't know what influence your prospective customer information diet, you might not be able to sell to them, right? So there are tools you can use to have an understanding of your prospective customers information diet. There's Facebook Data for Good. It's a free platform. Go over there, check it out, get information. There's Google Alert. Set up the Google Alert framework on your laptop, your system. So whenever anybody is searching for anything, you get quick information. There is Quora, there is Reddit. Check out these platforms, see what people are asking for, right? And plug yourself into it. There's Google Trends. Have data-driven insight on what people are looking for. Check out this platform. And guess what? It is free. You're not spending a dime, right? So understand the prospect, understand them. Now, once you've understood them, then you take it a bit further. Platform monetization. Now, this is where visibility becomes commercial utility, meaning you are now online and your presence being online, your digital footprint can be converted into cash or revenue for your business. So platform monetization. I will give you 3 ways to do this. If you're a business owner right here, right? Look at your business internally, look at the structure. Maybe you are selling a product. Now, selling a product is one thing, product. You can sell the information or the education around that particular product for the kind of customers you are targeting. That's number two. It's called product information marketing. Two. Number three, you can build community systems around the product and around the information connected to that product. Community power amplifies marketing leverage. So if you are selling as one person, oftentimes you will sweat out because you are doing one-on-one marketing. Okay, I reach out to Tunde, I reach out to Shego. But if you have a community presence as a result of the value you created or the product information or product education around what you do, you pull attention. It becomes organic lead magnets, meaning you're not spending money on ads, but the people within your community are telling other people about what you do, bringing more community persons into your community, and you're making money from it. So you need to understand platform monetization, right? So convert visibility into commercial utility. That is how you do it. Then that's the first way. Know the product education, and community. So those are the three ways to go about it. Then the fourth way you can also go about it is to build expertise or mentorship around that area so that you can now offer consulting based services. Whatever product you have or services you are offering, as long as you have been doing that particular thing over a period of time, you can commercialize your expertise in that area and people will pay you for it. People that want to get into your industry or into your sector will pay you for it. So you need to package what you know. The amazing business leader, Navaravikant, he said, productize yourself. You need to productize yourself. Beyond selling a product, your name must sell for itself. If your name can sell for itself, you establish yourself as an authority in that particular industry. You have leverage. Then the last one, the fourth key thing is understand how to use the monetary or advertising system within these platforms to scale. Now, I use the word scaling very, um, very, very clear. Because when you hear scaling, when I hear people talking about scaling, oftentimes they think it's just scaling in numbers. But you don't necessarily need to scale in numbers. Sometimes you might need to scale your product feature. So it's called product feature scaling, right? In other words, look at what you're currently offering. Okay, let me put it this way. There are certain products you are currently offering at the moment that is costing your company more money because you are offering it together as a bulk. But that particular product that is offered as a bulk will perform well if you split it into sub features or sub products. If you only have a one fit size product, you might not do very well. But take that one fit size product, split it into three offerings. You have the basic offering, you have the standard offering, you have the gold offering, one product, three different features. You can upscale with ease. Then you have customers that are coming to you to say, hey, I want to get a particular product. Oh, we have basic. They can pay for basic, but they cannot pay for standard. Oh, you have some that can pay for standard, and they can pay for basic. Oh, you have some that can only pay for the good level and not the rest. When you do that, you have leverage. So look out for the system of monetization for you to scale. Scale your product, scale your process, your delivery, how you go about it, the systems around it. Scale your structure because most MSMEs fail not necessarily because of marketing related engagement, but because of operational inefficiencies, right? So if there are block codes in your operational systems, it doesn't matter how much is coming in. And let me tell you this, and I'll stop shortly. If you get so much growth drive than your ability to maintain or manage that growth, if you get so much growth drive than your ability to manage and maintain that growth, your desire for growth becomes your business downfall, right? So if you are trying to scale in quote without setting the structure for scaling in place, when that growth comes, your business can't handle it. You will crumble under the pressure, and your reputation will be at risk. And when as an MSME, when your reputation is attacked, it means that the possibility for you to remain in business becomes slim. So these are the things you can do. I've mentioned some tools you can use. Understand meta ads, understand meta business suite, understand how you can set up ads, understand how you can use certain platforms for email, CRM Drive, which is free. You can use Zoho, you can use Salesforce. Salesforce and Zoho has free versions for business owners. Track your processes. You can use Trello. You can use Asana. You can use Notion. These are free tools. You can use even Excel. So these are the things you can do actually to convert your digital visibility into commercialized utility and then close that gap between how many persons are seeing you doing the things you do versus how many people are giving you money because they can see the things you do. All right, let's stop there.
Thank you very much. That was very interesting and insightful. And in fact, you even touched on the next question, that had to do with digital tools, the simple automation tools around customer relationships, content planning. You mentioned the Google Alerts. You also mentioned tools like Excel and Asana. But just briefly, very briefly, would
Yes.
you like to touch on some of these major tools that can help business, especially the small ones, that are
Yes.
trying to
Yeah.
with their efforts? Um, basically how they can use these tools to manage their customer relationships, follow ups, without having to employ someone else to do the work for them.
Nice. So I'm going to list out from the top of my head, I'm going to list out 15 tools you can use in 4 different subdivisions real quick, right? So if you're looking at marketing content and social media, right, you can use Canva. Canva is for digital design. Even right now, they have Canva AI that can help you guide your entire process. You can use Later, Later, is a visual social media planner. Yeah, it helps you to schedule your Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, whatever kind of post you want to do. So it's called post publishing, right? Post publishing. You can use Metrical. Metrical is like an all-in-one analytic tool that can actually help you track data metrics or track your business visibility online. You can use MailChimp to run effective email marketing stuff and other key things you want to use. You can use Flowdesk. So Flowdesk can actually help you basically to come up with very engaging, straight to the point email marketing campaign. Now, if you're looking at customer relationship and communication, you can use WhatsApp Business. Set up your WhatsApp Business store. Very importantly, set it up, structure it quite well so that it's a digital store, a digital representation of your physical business. If you have a physical business, you can use Hotspot CRM. They have a free trial which you can actually use to run both CRM stuff or any business related stuff. You can use Tidio, Tidio. So Tidio is like a chatbot system. So sometimes you might not be online. Remember, if your business cannot function across multiple time zones, you are a one-man business, right? If you cannot function across multiple time zones, the scale of your business reach is limited. So use TDO to actually sort of like simple chatbots to guide you in what you do. Now, if you're looking at operations and tax management side by side, you can use Notion. Notion is free. You're not paying a dime. You can use Trello. Trello is free project management tool. You can use Calendly. Calendly can help you structure meetings, schedule events, data events, or virtual meetings. Now, there is something most MSMEs they do that I think it doesn't translate into sustainable results. For instance, the client reached out to you and they're interested in your product, and you send them a mail telling them that, oh, what time actually works best for them. No, that should not work. You should not reach out to the client and tell them what client works out for them. Rather, send them a link to your schedule. Let the client pick the schedule along, let the client select the date for the meeting that functions within your schedule. So create a calendar link, send it to the client. The client can see your available dates, click it, and then join. That makes it very simple. You can use Zapier. Zapier is an end-to-end automation tool you can use to plug into your business, and it's free. Now, if you're looking at financial and administrative management, there are tools you can actually use. QuickBook, the amazing speaker mentioned QuickBook the last time. You can use Wave, free accounting and invoicing software for small medium enterprise. You can use Google Workspace, the Drive, the Docs, the Form to form the backbone of your data layout for your business. You can use Linktree to connect all these tools together into one place so that you have effective organization of business process, especially your own personal business process and how you do the things you do. These are like 15 awesome tools. Of course, Gemini, ChatGPT, Cloud, Perplexity. These are LLM tools, AI tools you can use to enable you advance the things you do as tied to your business. So yeah, these are some of the ways I think business owners can use tools like this for free, not paying a dime, to advance what they do generally. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Elijah. This whole conversation, it's very clear that systems and structures, they're very, very important for our business. And it helps us to actually drive sustainable growth. But then there's something else that also helps us, which is trust. And this is where communities come in. I know you've touched on it, and Mrs. Isimeme has touched on communities earlier on. But I want us to talk about how, these businesses, MSMEs, women-led MSMEs can use digital tools not only to promote their products and their services, but for them to also be able to use it to build communities. and communities that drive loyalty and long-term customer engagement. So how can, women-led MSMEs build that intentionally?
So there are basically 4 ways to do this. Number one, stop seeing yourself as a single unit. Start seeing yourself as an ecosystem enabler, right? The previous speaker did mention that plug yourself into certain networks, right? So you cannot just exist alone, right? We are now in an age of hyper collaboration. The new competition is strategic collaboration, right? So you cannot just do it alone, right? Plug yourself into the system. That's the first way. Now, if you are not looking at plugging yourself into an existing system, then look out for a way to create existing ecosystem. And how do you do that? There are basically 4 ways to do this. And whether you want to plug into an existing or you want to create a new one, these 4 ways are the ways you can do it. Number one, start with authenticity, right? So you start with authenticity. Be real, be authentic, because people do business with who they trust, right? So if you are clear about why you exist, why your company is doing whatever it is they're doing, you have people who can connect with the why. People can connect with the why that is linked up with your business. The why behind your business builds the ground for authenticity. That's the first one. The second thing you need to do is you need to build business authority, right? Because you want people to listen to you, right? So um, this year's IWD team is very strategic. It's a give to gain, right? So you need to be an authority in whatever it is you do, right? There's a particular book I read some time ago, the Science of Persuasion, I think by Dr. Dennis Bentley. He says there are ways people actually buy from you, but one of the science behind this, the act of persuasion, is authority. People buy from people that know whatever it is they're talking about. So build authority, be visible, be strategic. And you build authority by contributing to the knowledge gap within the community, or by contributing to creating an environment of knowledge, like what Cafe Innovate Hub is doing. They're establishing and positioning yourself as an authority in the field, right? So that's the second way to do it. Number three, the third way to do it is be value driven. Be value driven. You might not necessarily give free products, but you can give let me use the word non-free variation of the product you are currently offering. What do I mean by that? Create a digital book, an ebook that explains your story narrative, that explains what your company is all about, and how people can actually position themselves to use this thing. That is the third way to do it. Now, the fourth way to do it, and I'll stop here, is you need to be able to replicate yourself, right, by commercializing your absence. So you need to be able to replicate yourself by commercializing your absence. How do you do that? So you commercialize your absence by pouring into people who can go about telling other persons about how good, wonderful, and a nice looking person that you are. So if you follow this 4 trajectory, whether you want to start building a community or you want to join an existing community, these are the things that would position you and give you the leverage that you seek. Remember, community unlocks ecosystem leverage. When you are plugged into a community, you amplify your voice far and wide. Is the fastest way to gain social trust. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And to be honest, all of this sounds very, very practical and accessible. But we know that, adoption or one of these things that we've discussed today is not always easy. People are afraid, business owners are afraid. There is uncertainty. And sometimes there's even, resistance from these businesses. So, Mrs. Isimeme, what are you seeing on the ground when it comes to women that are embracing digital tools? Do you think that they are afraid? And if yes, what are the common fears that they have around adopting, these digital tools, especially automation tools? And also, how can ecosystem players better support them? So, yes, what are those fears?
Okay, one of the fears that they have is the fact that they will lose their businesses, they will lose money, they will lose their identity. So it's like uncertainty around it. So these are major fears and concerns among the MSMEs. So adopting technology, adopting digital transformation is like, oh, are they not taking away my businesses? Are they not going to take away my money? So there's fear. Oh, these people have come to take my business. But the power of community, the power of ecosystem, the reason why I kept emphasizing why as a business owner, especially women-led, why they should belong to ecosystem. One of the benefits of belonging to ecosystem is that you get to find in your comfort zone, because that's the sense of community. You are not ashamed. They have similar problem and similar solutions. So you most likely going to find help within the ecosystem. So fear is normal. Even the ones that we think that are big, there's fear of investment, especially with the new um, investment portfolio that has come into technology now, where you can an app just show up. You don't even know them. They don't physical address, and you are putting your money for investments, and you are advocating for women, market women. This is digital transformation. So is it even the one that are well educated who have embraced technology see our fears? So I think what I think here is we will not rule out fear at, at every level. But what are we doing to now to look at the risk and mitigate the risk? There's always risk. So first is that as business owners, you need to build self-confidence. Number two is that skill and risk is part of growth. Depending at what level you want to take it. Yeah, maybe you want to take time to analyze the risk. But if you're a business owner, you haven't taken any risks. I'm sorry, you're not a business owner yet. For the fact that you decided to do pop-off, the day you decided to do pop-off, there will be fear now. Will people like it? Will people buy? That's a risk you took. On that first day, you say you want to start a business, that's a risk. So if you have any business owner who have not taken any risks, that person is not a business owner yet. So risk taking is part of it. And don't be ashamed to show your vulnerability. I always say this: ask for help, seek for help, speak out. You can't be an ecosystem and you have industry leaders who are going ahead of you, and you cannot share your pain, your challenges, your pain point with them. So why are you in that community? What is the essence of the community? If it's a community where you cannot be yourself, a community where you cannot show your vulnerabilities, it simply means that's not where you belong. Because the whole essence of ecosystem is a place where you find resources. It's a place where you find tools. It's a place where you find, it's a one-stop shop. That is what it is. So I'm just using this opportunity to just emphasize to MSME, don't be afraid. You have nothing to lose when you ask for help. And in the course of asking for help, you get clarity. And guess what? The power of ecosystem is so huge that it is in the course of showing your vulnerability. Oh, I don't know this, I need it. That's why people get to know what you do. Some people may say you are making noise, make all the noise, show value. You are in a community, you are not contributing, you are just there every time they post, you read though, and you pass. Not even a thumbs up, not even well done, not even for your contribution. If you cannot type, because everybody is busy to type, that you drop a voice note, which for me is even easy now. It's the best way. If you want to talk to me, I prefer voice notes. I can listen to it without reading. Everybody's tired, everybody's busy. So take advantage of the tools available. Ecosystem alone is a tool. We need to see it's not that it's a physical tool, but there are tools. That ecosystem, that present, that support system that you are, they are part of mechanism for you to scale, to grow. So fear, keep it on one side. There will always be mistakes. You learn from the mistakes. You will not say because you are afraid to lose. It's like you are trying to put system in place to protect the organization. You can only reduce it. You can only reduce it. Yeah, you can only reduce it. You can only minimize it. Take advantage of all of these tools and fight to become the best in everything you do, wherever you find yourself. Push, 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 push hard. All of these tools will just change your business overnight. So have you looked at it from that point? What if you change your business within a short time? What do you have to really lose? You need to analyze it. What are the fears really? So I think we can calm down, list out what we are afraid of. And for the MSME ecosystem, for the industry leaders who have gone ahead, what will be your legacy if you cannot support your ecosystem members? I know it took you a lot of resources, took you a lot of time to arrive where you are right now. So I've also learned with the team for International Women's Day this year. Talk about giving, talk about give to gain. It is in the course of giving that you gain. And I'll let's say this: You gain from the universe. That is a fact. You gain from the universe. And because of because of giving, you also learn. That is the truth. You become more visible because while you are providing those solutions, the person you have provided that solution to will tell one other person. And before you know it, you get referral without even doing any form of marketing and screaming on social media. It just comes naturally. Now, those are the best way of actually marketing. Those are the best way of customer retention. I just want us to be intentional about building to last beyond ourselves. My sweet mama will always say, Tara Felaturutui, will always say, beyond yourself. So for me, it's building beyond you. And when you think about that, that will make you do everything to ensure that you have system structure and corporate governance. The reason why I love technology is that it's an enabler for all of this system structure, corporate governance to be put in place. All of this system, structural corporate governance starts with you. You must live by example. It must start with you. So I think I will rest at that.
Thank you so much. So what clearly stands out for me from this conversation is that digital transformation is not complex. It's not really complex. You know, the way that we make it out to be, some of these businesses make it out to be. Digital tools help us to gain clarity, systems, and even internal structure for our businesses. Thank you so much, Mrs. Isimeme. Thank you so much, Elijah, for sharing these insights with us today. It's gold. That's how I see it. Yeah. So, but before we end this session, I just want to ask each of you in one very short sentence, to share one practical action that a woman entrepreneur can take this week to start building her own digital dividends. Let's start with you, Mrs. Isimeme.
Okay. I think I would say they should do a social auditing of their business, So it helps them know where they are, more like analyzing their entire structure, their businesses, everything they do. So social auditing. So the social auditing will give a roadmap to their business and will enable them to know the relevant tools that will fit their organization, that will fit their business. And again, Mr. Elijah talked about business model canvas. Don't play with it. Look at the 9 blocks. The 9 blocks will enable you know exactly where you are. So when you do your social auditing, please support it with 9 blocks. The business model canvas, look at 9 blocks. That's very simple, sweet 9 blocks from value proposition to customer segmentation to your channel to key activity. I don't want to start naming them, but take advantage of them. It will help you reposition.
Thank you so much, Elijah. One very short sentence.
It's a very short sentence. I was actually documenting some stuff. I was actually jotting down to share what I wanted to say. Short sentence. There are basically 3 things you can do real quick. The first one I would say is plug yourself into an ecosystem, right? So check out platforms like Smedan, plug yourself into Smedan, check out LCCI, Lagos State Chamber of Commerce and Industry, check out platforms like BI of Industry, they have a community network as well. Follow Cafe Innovate Hub. You need to follow them so you enjoy things like this. Check out MSME Africa community. Check out as many of these communities as possible. Plug into AfriLab network and stuff like that. Then the second thing you can actually do real quick is basically do a deep dive, just like what the earlier speaker said. So do a deep dive into your business process and stuff like that. So understand what really works for you, why you're doing what you're doing. Is business model canvas to capture that. The third one is start with the tools. The tools are there already, right? Practice, practice, practice. Play with it, break it, scatter it, start again. Play with it, break it. Yes, it's practice, practice, practice. Practice builds improvement, right? So if you do that consistently over a period of time, your sales and your revenue will be smiling at you because you have done the needful so far. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, as a wrap up to this conversation, one thing that has come up consistently is that digital transformation for women-led MSMEs is not just about doing more; it's about starting to do things differently. And we've talked about how financial tools can give women better visibility to their income, to expenses, even to their business operations as well. We've also talked about how setting up automation for your business can free up time for you to do other strategic work. Digital marketing systems, they also help your online visibility, turning it from just being visible to being able to, generate consistent revenue from your online platforms. And now, more importantly, we now understand that these tools are not out of reach. And with the right knowledge, with the right support, women entrepreneurs can begin to build businesses that are not only profitable, but sustainable and growth ready. And that's really what the digital dividend is all about. So thank you so much, Mrs. Isimeme. Thank you so much, Elijah, for coming on the session. We really appreciate you and we hope to see you again soon. Hope we're seeing you guys again soon.
Definitely. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Hope. Thank you. Thanks everyone. Bye.